Our thoughts are not like God's thoughts. His thoughts are higher. When we feel like we're in danger, when we feel like we have to control the outcome, when we feel like there's a threat coming our way, are we like my son looking out of the window at wind that can't harm him when he could have easily just turned around and went to sleep because his mother and father were there the entire time? Here in St. Louis right now, it is very windy where I am. There's actually a wind advisory in the location that I live in. It is just stuff is blowing around outside. I saw my neighbor's lawn stuff blowing across the cul-de-sac. Leaves are everywhere. Hi, Deidre. Things are just blowing. And so all of this started last night, and it was making a lot of noise on our house. So my son's room is actually on a side of the house. It's on that side of the house. And so when the wind is coming from this direction, it's really noisy. I mean, it's just like, whoo. My son has a lot of sensory issues, and so he's very sensitive to noises. So needless to say, last night he did not sleep really well. Therefore, my husband and I did not sleep really well because he was in there screaming every time the wind blew, waking up, shouting, and saying, I want up, and mommy, daddy, you know. So at first my husband got up and went into him. And when I saw my husband went and got him, I went back to sleep. But eventually when I woke back up again, when I heard my son screaming again, I noticed that my husband was back in the bed. I said to him, okay, did you go in? What's going on with him? And he was like, it's just the wind. He's afraid of the wind. You know, I calmed him down, but I think he woke back up. I waited a second. He went back to sleep. Well, about 6 something this morning, I heard him screaming again. So I decided, okay, I have to get up at 7:30 anyway. So I am going to get up and go in his bed with him. Now, I try not to do that because I'm one of those parents where I kind of toe the line between overly coddling the child and letting them be self-sufficient. So I'm kind of one of those parents where I wait to see if he can self-soothe and self-comfort. But he was pretty hysterical and I had to get up soon anyway. So I knew that the easiest way for him to calm down and the easiest way for me to get 45 more minutes of sleep, was to just go in the bed with him. His bed is up against a window. And when I go into the room, he is facing in the entirely opposite direction that he should be facing. Like usually his head is facing this way, let's say. And instead, he is facing the window with his fingers open, looking out of the blinds, screaming uncontrollably. So I said, Zion, what are you doing? Turn around, stop looking out of the window. And he's just like, mommy, mommy, and he keeps screaming. So I said, well, close the window. What are you looking at? What are you doing? You know? So I climb up in his bed and I decide, okay, he's calmed down now. He's closed the window and he puts his head down, but he's still facing the window. So I put my feet down by his head, basically facing the opposite direction. And I go to sleep. I get my pillows. I tuck myself in. I get up underneath his little Superman blanket and I go in on sleep. About 5 minutes later, the wind blows again. It beats up against the side of our house and he's up again, peeking through the blinds, screaming uncontrollably. And I finally looked at him and I said, Zion, what are you looking at? If you're afraid of it, then don't look at it. Stop doing that. Hi, Khadijah. So I eventually pick him up, turn him entirely around so his head is now next to me. I put his pillow next to me, my pillow, and I cover him up with the blanket, put my arm over him, and he goes totally out to sleep. Never woke up again. But while I was lying there trying to go back to sleep and get now my like 30 more minutes of rest before I had to get up this morning, the Holy Spirit said to me, what are you looking at? Because that's what I was saying to Zion over and over this morning. What are you looking at? And the Holy Spirit said, what are you looking at? And I said, what are you talking about, God? He said, just like Zion, when there's trouble and when there's noise and things that scare you or things that distract you when you should be doing something else, things that seem like they're going to bring you harm, even though you're in a protected space. Zion was in his bed in a home, but you don't understand that this thing is not going to bring you harm. Why are you staring at it? Why are you contemplating it? Why are you focused on it? Why do you keep focusing on something that's not even going to touch you. A lot of times we will get we will spend so much of our time. We have a finite amount of time. What are you spending that time looking at? Are you focused on something that is of no consequence at all anyway? Why is Zion looking out the window at the wind that can't even get him? His small amount of understanding, he doesn't know that. And liken that to our small amount of understanding. Our thoughts are not like God's thoughts. His thoughts are higher. When we feel like we're in danger, when we feel like we have to control the outcome, when we feel like there's a threat coming our way, are we like my son looking out of the window at wind that can't harm him when he could have easily just turned around and went to sleep because his mother and father were there the entire time? What are you looking at? Are you really in danger? Is God right there? Does it seem in your finite, small thought process like it's going to overtake you? Is it really though? Is the big, big God who created everything that you see around you, the God of the Bible who has a finished work of the cross, is it really though? Are you not okay right now? Hasn't he always come through? Isn't that what the song says? Are you in all the bad times that you have had? Are you not yet still sitting here watching me? So did he not come through the last time? Stop looking out the window. He has proved himself over and over and over and over. It's time for you to rest during the storm. Zion, I picked him up. He turned around. He put his head down. He kind of looked at me like, oh, I put my arm over him, which is how God is with us. He wraps us up. It says he rejoices over us with singing. You know, there have been times when I've had to sing to Zion to get him to calm down, to remember that his mother is there covering him so he could go to sleep. And when I tell you, he went into that good sleep, that good snoring sleep, that restful mommy is here, nothing's going to happen to me sleep. And you know what, you guys, the wind did not stop. The wind is still blowing right now. It's been blowing since this morning. It was loud. It was still beating up against the house, but his focus had changed and his understanding of who I am to him, I guess it came to him and he went to bed. And so that really blessed me this morning when the Holy Spirit said that to me. He kind of said, what you looking at? And I was like, oh, okay. I didn't know it was lesson time. I thought it was time to go get this 30 minutes of rest in. A good refresher, it's a good reminder for you to start anew. If you have certain thought processes, start anew. Refresh yourself. Write your goals out. Be intentional and be more focused on the things that remind you of the God that you say you believe in, who he is, and stop looking at stuff that ain't even trying to come for you anyway. It ain't gonna do it. It's not gonna work. It's not gonna come for you. And even if it gets near you, it's not gonna work. So what you looking at it for? Why are you focused on it? Why are you calling your friends, lathering up about it? Why are you watching videos or reading articles about how to get? Why? Go write a goal. Do something else. Figure out who he made you to be and head in that direction.